Hey guys, Michael here from AroundTheTech.com. This is Around the Tech episode number 10, Ping and Tab. I'd just like to apologize for the lack of an episode last week. There was a lot of coverage I had to get published and uploaded for the Epic 4G prior to official launch for search benefits, etc., etc. So I needed to make sure that I had that Friday upload date set for the Epic 4G. Now, if you were following me on Twitter, twitter.com/BLUE42RICHMAN, you would have known about this little issue, so you may want to follow me in the future. But let's get right into this week's top news. The Apple Music event was this week on Wednesday, September 1st. Kind of a weird date for an Apple event. Usually Apple is a Tuesday kind of company, but obviously they're trying to mix it up, be fresh, be progressive, and they go in on Wednesday. Now I have a dedicated video on that. You can check it out. There'll be a link or an annotation or something for you to click on, but let's just gloss over some of the new announcements. Well, we knew that the iPod lines were going to be refreshed. The Classic was not, but the Touch line was refreshed. Now it has Retina display, front and rear facing cameras. The Nano was refreshed and the Shuffle was refreshed. They both are now similar form factor. The iPod Shuffle looks kind of like the previous, or the two incarnations ago, where it's kind of a small square with a belt clip. The Nano looks almost exactly like that, except it has a multi-touch screen on it instead of a little buttons. Kind of interesting, although the Nano has lost the ability to both view and record video, so that's kind of a downside. What we didn't see coming was iTunes 10. Essentially, there's nothing really new about it. They updated the colors, but they've also included Ping in that, which is their social network for music. And finally, long rumored, the cloud-based Apple TV was released at $99. You're now able to rent movies and TV shows at a more affordable price point, although you've lost internal storage. And also, it doesn't run iOS. So we thought, oh, we'll have applications, we'll have this and that. That's not coming. It doesn't run iOS, so you won't be able to go to the App Store and expand it. So that's kind of a bummer. I wish they had done that. Now, after a few weeks of teasing, Samsung has officially announced the Galaxy Tab. That's a 7-inch WSVGA screen tablet, multi-touch of course. Interestingly, even though the Galaxy S lines use Super AMOLED, which is a big selling point for these devices, this is not using Super AMOLED. Obviously that means, there's probably a problem with Super AMOLED. Maybe that they're having a little manufacturing shortage, considering Samsung is one of the only companies that make Super AMOLED screens, or maybe they're just not really comfortable releasing a 7-inch model. Maybe 4 inches is the only one that they're really good at manufacturing at this point. But it also will have a 1 GHz Cortex A9 processor, Android 2.2 Froyo with Adobe Flash, HSUPA and HSDPA, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, a 3 megapixel rear facing camera, as well as a 1.3 megapixel front facing camera for, you guessed it, taking portraits, and of course video chat. 16 and 32 gigabytes of storage built in respectively in the models, with a built-in micro SD card slot for expansion. Now this is going to launch in September in Europe and in other continents and the United States and Asia in the coming months. We don't know price points at this point, but a Samsung executive has said that there will be multiple Galaxy Tab models with different screen sizes, features, and price points in the coming months. Rumors are also linking the Tab to 3G, 4G carriers like Sprint, because they have a 4G network out there, and Verizon with their LTE network coming in the future, and that would be kind of an interesting thing. But for your QOTD question of the day, does the lack of Super AMOLED in the Tab make it a deal breaker? For me, one of the best features of Galaxy S phones, particularly the Epic 4G, which I have a lot of coverage of, is the excellent 4-inch Super AMOLED display. It has great colors, great contrast, and using it is such a pleasure. So is that really a bummer to you that it's not in the Tab? I think it is, but I don't know if it's a deal breaker for me. The TMobile G2 has been confirmed this month by T-Mobile. It's a touchscreen, obviously, with a physical QWERTY board from HTC, similar to the original G1, the first Android-based smartphone on the market. It's going to be running on T-Mobile's HSPA Plus 4G speed network, so it's not actually 4G, but they keep boasting it as if it has speeds of 4G. That's rolled out in several cities, although the footprint is quite small, comparable to Sprint's 4G network. It'll ship with Froyo and Flash 10.1 support, but it'll only have an 800 megahertz Scorpion processor. Now, granted, this is using Qualcomm's next-gen chipset, or at least we believe it's using that, so the architecture is improved. But with all these phones getting 1 gigahertz chips, Hummingbird, Snapdragon, or Apple A4, all these different things, why did they short us on 200 megahertz? I don't know. That's just whatever. Now for our Apple rumor news, The iPhone 4 hardware revision, is there one coming in September? Well, Marco Catorze of Telcel, Director of Value of Added Services, and Telcel is the iPhone 4 carrier in Mexico, and I'm sure I just butchered some of those pronunciations. He's made a comment that that the phones shipping in Mexico are the same ones that have the hardware defect, you know, the infamous antenna gate, and the case program will be valid for their phones through September 30th. But he went on to say that new hardware without reception issues, and he said this pretty frankly and clearly, without reception issues will be available after September 30th for people to buy. So maybe he's just saying some stuff, a polarizing figure wants to get into the news, or maybe he does know something else. I personally don't think that's going to happen. Apple really tried to not admit that there was a problem with their antenna gate event, although they did say that they'll be working on a better solution. So we'll see, but the backlash would be pretty big if over 3 million iPhone 4 users were kind of left in the dust with a model that had an issue. So that would be a pretty big problem for Apple. So for quick links for the week, 3 new 4G cities are now officially covered by Sprint: Boston, Massachusetts, Daytona Beach, Florida, and Providence, Rhode Island. Google has announced priority inboxes for Gmail, which predicts which messages are most important to you and brings those to the surface for you to consume and answer. Nintendo is dropping the DSI and DSI XL prices to $149.99 and $169.99 respectively, effective September 12th. If you're looking to get a handheld mobile device, wait until next week. Verizon Wireless is officially launching prepaid data plans. Contract-free smartphones are now eligible for an unlimited plan, unlimited, at $30 per month, while feature phones are eligible for a 25 megabyte plan that costs $10. Now, since we didn't have an episode last week, you didn't get the savings that you expect with our deals of the day. I have 2 for you this week. First one, for you audiophiles out there, you can get the M Audio Studiophile AV40 powered speakers for $120 with free shipping. Normally on Amazon, that's about $200. The lower prices that you usually can find on the internet is around $150, $160. So for $120, you're saving a good chunk of change for the Studiophile AVs. And if you're looking for consuming media, Apple, is saying, oh, now you can rent TV shows from us, HD TV shows for 99 cents. Well, Amazon kind of one-upped Apple on that. Now you can purchase TV shows in HD or standard def from ABC, BBC, and Fox TV for 99 cents, again, on Amazon. Links will be in the box below. Again, my name is Michael Sherlock from Around the Tech. This has been Around the Tech episode 10. Is this episode better? And are you glad that you didn't have one last week, so now you can enjoy this one? I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.